44 units sold. That's how many 1972 BIC GSX models BIC moved in an entire year. The muscle car era produced legends. The Dodge Charger RT, the Chevelle SS 454, the Plymouth Hemi Cuda. Cars that sold tens of thousands of units and defined American automotive culture. But for every success, there were disasters. Cars that looked right on paper but delivered disappointment. Some failed because of timing. The 1973 oil crisis killed everything with a V8. Some failed because of execution. Some were just bad cars that deserved to die. This is the countdown of 15 American muscle cars that failed miserably. Number 15. Chevrolet Corvette California 305. In 1980, California's emission standards were stricter than federal regulations. Chevrolet's solution was the California 305. They removed the 5.7-liter V8. In its place, a 5.0-liter 305 cubic inch V8 making 180 horsepower. They paired it with a 3-speed automatic transmission only. 180 horsepower. In a Corvette. For context, the 1970 Corvette LS5 made 390 horsepower. 0 to 60 took over 9 seconds. Top speed was barely 110 miles per hour. Motor Trend wrote, "The California 305 represents everything wrong with emission regulations strangling performance." Current value, $8,000 to $15,000. Regular 1980 Corvettes sell for $18,000 to $25,000. Number 14. AMC Javelin. AMC's Javelin was competitive in the late 1960s. Then 1971 happened. The base 304 cubic inch V8 made 210 horsepower. The 1970 version made 290 horsepower. Same engine. 80 fewer horsepower. The top 401 cubic inch V8 made 330 horsepower in 1971. The 1970 version made 400 horsepower. AMC sold 23,455 Javelins in 1971. Chevrolet sold over 100,000 Camaros that year. By 1974, AMC discontinued the Javelin entirely. Current values, $15,000 to $35,000 depending on condition. Number 13. Pontiac Grand Prix Diesel. The 1980 Grand Prix offered a 5.7-liter diesel V8 making 105 horsepower. 0 to 60 took 16.4 seconds. 16.4 seconds to 60 miles per hour. In a performance car, the diesel was catastrophic. Head gaskets failed constantly. Fuel injection pumps broke. The engine would seize if coolant mixed with fuel. The diesel option cost $850 extra in 1980, about $3,100 today. Current value, gas V8 models sell for $5,000 to $10,000. Diesel models are worthless. Number 12. Plymouth Roadrunner. The 1975 Roadrunner betrayed everything the original stood for. Plymouth redesigned it for 1975, basing it on the Fury platform. The car gained 600 pounds. Performance engines? Gone. The top engine made 235 horsepower. That's half what the 1974 46-pack produced. Base price jumped to $4,300, adjusted to $25,000 today. Sales collapsed. Plymouth sold 7,183 Roadrunners in 1975 compared to 44,599 in 1970. Number 11. Ford Gran Torino 460. The 1974 Gran Torino offered a 460 cubic inch V8. That's 7.4 liters. In 1969, the same 460 made over 400 horsepower. In 1974, it made 220 horsepower. 220 horsepower from 7.4 liters. Modern Honda Civics make more power per liter. The Gran Torino weighed over 4,000 pounds. 0 to 60 took 9.6 seconds. Fuel economy was terrible. The 460 returned 8 to 10 miles per gallon. Current values, $15,000 to $30,000. Number 10. Pontiac G37. Pontiac created the GT37 in 1970 as their budget muscle car. The execution failed. Dealers didn't stock them. Buyers who wanted budget performance bought the Roadrunner. Buyers who wanted Pontiac performance bought the GTO. The GT37 had an identity crisis. Too expensive at $3,200 to be a budget muscle car. Not prestigious enough to compete with the $3,500 GTO. Pontiac sold only 3,127 GT37s in 1970. Production ended after 1 year. Current values, $20,000 to $40,000. Number 9. Chevrolet Monza Spider V8. The Monza Spider offered a 262 cubic inch V8 making 110 horsepower. From 4.3 liters. The Monza weighed 2,900 pounds. 0 to 60 took 13 seconds. The real problem was packaging. Changing spark plugs required raising the engine. Simple maintenance became dealer-only jobs. The 4-cylinder Monza with a 5-speed manual was actually faster than the V8. Current values, $5,000 to $12,000. Number 8. Pontiac Can-Am. The Can-Am featured a 400 cubic inch V8 making 180 horsepower. The optional 403 cubic inch V8 made 185 horsepower. The name evoked race cars making over 1,000 horsepower. The reality was a heavy luxury coupe. The Can-Am weighed 4,200 pounds. 0 to 60 took 10.5 seconds. Pontiac sold 14,496 Can-Ams over 3 model years. The Can-Am represented only 5% of Grand Prix sales. Current values, $8,000 to $18,000. Number 7. Oldsmobile Hurst Olds W30. The 1974 Hurst Olds used a 455 cubic inch V8 making 230 horsepower. The 1970 Hurst Olds 455 made 370 horsepower. 140 fewer horsepower. The W30 performance package added virtually nothing. Slightly stiffer suspension. Non-functional hood scoops. Stripes. The W30 package cost $350 more, about $2,200 today. Performance gains were negligible. Oldsmobile sold 1,800 units in 1974 and 2,535 in 1975. Current values, $20,000 to $35,000. Number 6. Mercury Cyclone GT. The 1971 Cyclone GT received a complete redesign. Larger, heavier, softer styling. The top 429 cubic inch V8 made 370 horsepower. But the car weighed 4,200 pounds. Most buyers got the base 351 cubic inch V8 making 240 horsepower. In a 4,200 pound car, this was inadequate. 0 to 60 took over 10 seconds. Mercury sold 3084 Cyclone GTS in 1971. Production ended after 1 year. Current values, $15,000 to $30,000. Number 5. Dodge Charger Super B. In 1971, Dodge moved the Super B name to the Charger platform. This was a terrible decision. Base price jumped from $3,100 to $3,700. The car gained 400 pounds. Dodge sold only 54 Super Bs in 1971 compared to 15,506 in 1970. The 1971 Super B lost its identity. Current values, $30,000 to $50,000. Number 4. Chevrolet Chevelle SS454. The 1970 Chevelle SS454 LS6 is legendary. 450 horsepower. The 1973 Chevelle SS454 destroyed that legacy. It made 245 horsepower. Not a typo. 245 horsepower from 7.4 liters. The 1970 LS6 made 450 horsepower from the same displacement. The 1973 version lost 205 horsepower. Road and track road, the SS454 badge is now meaningless. Current values, $30,000 to $50,000. Number 3. Plymouth Hemi Cuda Convertible. Wait, the Hemi Cuda failed? Yes. Commercially, it was a disaster. Base price, $4,800. That's $37,000 adjusted for inflation. With options, the price climbed to $5,500, about $42,000 today. Insurance companies classified it as high risk. Annual insurance exceeded $1,000, about $7,700 today. Plymouth sold only 14 Hemi Cuda convertibles in 1970. 14 total. Today, these 14 convertibles are worth $3 million to $5 million each. But in 1970, it was a commercial failure. Number 2. Dodge Charger Daytona. Dodge built 501 Charger Daytonas for NASCAR homologation. Exactly one more than required. Dealers couldn't sell them. The 23-inch wing made the car ridiculous looking. The nose cone made parking difficult. Dodge dealers cut the wings off some units trying to sell them. Some removed the nose cone completely. Original MSRP was $3,960. Dealers discounted them to $3,000. Even with discounts, they sat unsold. Current values: $300,000 to $500,000 for 440 versions. Hemi versions exceed $1 million. But in 1969, nobody wanted them. Number 1. Big GSX. 44 cars sold in an entire year. This is the biggest muscle car sales failure in history. The 1970 GSX sold 678 units. Then 1971 arrived with emission controls. Sales fell to 124 units. 1972 was the death blow. The Stage 1 now made 270 horsepower. From 7.5 liters. The GSX cost $4,500, about $32,000 today. Big sold 44 GSX models in 1972. 44. The lowest single-year production number for any muscle car from a major manufacturer. Today, 1972 GSX models are worth $50,000 to $80,000 because only 44 exist. But in 1972, nobody wanted them at any price. That's the ultimate failure. A car so unwanted that only 44 people in America bought one. The muscle car era produced legends and disasters in equal measure. The 1972 Big GSX sold 44 units. The Hemi Cuda convertible sold 14. The Charger Daytona had its wing cut off by desperate dealers. These weren't necessarily bad cars. The Daytona dominated NASCAR. The Hemi Cuda was stunningly fast. The GSX's Stage 1 engine was brilliant. But commercial success requires more than capability. Timing matters. Price matters. Insurance costs matter. The 1973 oil crisis killed muscle cars that were already struggling. Emission regulations strangled engines. Insurance costs made performance cars unaffordable. Today, many are valuable because rarity creates collectability. The 44-unit GSX. The 14-unit Hemi Cuda convertible. The 501 Daytonas. But in their time, they were commercial disasters. The muscle cars that succeeded sold tens of thousands of units. The muscle cars that failed sold dozens.